Hey, welcome in Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us.
What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
All right.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas.
Hello, I'm Billy Cobbin, the Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home.
Hey, it's Kay Boning with Tomorrow's Provost Montessori Schools.
Good morning, Huntsville.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm Karen.
I'm Toy. And I'm Denise.
And from all of us at Walker County Federal Credit Union,
Good morning, Huntsville.
Hello.
We on the air?
We on the air.
Turn me up. I can't hear me.
Turn it up some.
I can't
Who
hear
was
me.
that? Toby Keith? Turn it up some.
Turn it up.
Are you turning up now? Is
No,
that good?
I'm like the Leonard Skinner.
Can you hear that, or is that
I
still
can- a little more. Give me a little more.
right there?
Yeah, I like to hear myself rattle.
Turn it up some. Get on down there and get
They
the rest
learned
of
that
it.
at the football banquet last night. I just like to hear myself.
Oh, they had a football banquet
we
last
did,
night?
boy. We had
Wow.
us a show in the freezing rain.
Did Brother Kulak MC it?
Oh, he showed did.
Oh, I love that, man.
That's my buddy right there, man.
Yeah, it's a good man.
Good
One
dude.
year he was out of town, and he asked me if I could do it for him, and I said yes. But I said, and then somebody said, hey, will you do that again? I said, nope. I said, that is Brother Kulak's role, and that will be his role. He is the voice of the Hornets. I don't care what anybody says. When you're the PA guy, you're the voice of the team.
Yeah, that's right. Well, see, I'm coming off my term as president of the Booster Club.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't be more excited to hand the reins over to somebody else.
Who's doing it? Do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever sucker shows up.
I'm so disconnected now. You know, I feel even though we have this platform, I just want to be honest. Like, now that I don't cover any of that or do any of that, I just don't feel like I'm connected anymore. I feel like there's this. In fact, Billy, it's to a point to where it's like, do I want my kids to even go to Huntsville ISD? Not negative about the school district. It's just I'm so disconnected, and I'm more connected at New Waverly, which I don't mind. You know, it's like it's just a weird dynamic. You know,
New Waverly's got a good school. They really do. New
Yeah.
Waverly's
Huntsville
got it
does
going
too.
on. Huntsville's got a great school.
But for me as a parent, that's where I'm getting at. I just feel, and I want to be around my children. My dream, here was my dream as a broadcaster, right? This was my dream as a broadcaster, that one day I would be broadcasting in a community that I lived in, and that my children would grow up and be in the booth with me. That was like my dream, you know? And it is what it is.
I'm sure my kids would get in a Duncan booth with me, you know.
Yeah. So when I was broadcasting at Sam Houston, I brought my niece with me a couple times, and she enjoyed that. Yeah. When I was living in Georgetown. See, I was talking about this yesterday, man, and I'm not doing this to talk about myself or anything. I'm just talking about it in general. Some people don't realize the road that other people had to blaze ahead of you sometimes. And I've never taken that for granted. Any opportunity that I've ever had, I've always been very mindful and respectful that somebody else kind of blazed a trail ahead of me, to allow me to get to do what I do. And that's true for anybody. And I'll tell you, man, when we came here, I feel like I rattle on about this all the time, but it's good. It helps me. But I gave up everything in Georgetown to come here, and then in an instant you feel like, even though it was my decision, you feel like you lost everything. And I've just been so mindful about that. And the deal is, and I've talked about this for a couple of weeks, you can't stay stuck looking in the rearview mirror. You got to look forward. You can't see what's ahead of you if you're stuck looking in the rearview mirror. And God has a plan and a purpose, and we got to be joyful and be thankful for that. You can get to these positions in life, or roles, if you will, in a job, and you feel like that maybe you've made it. But if you're not happy where you're at, whenever you finally get to where you think you need to be, then you're going to find something else to not like.
Yeah.
And that kind of happened along my journey. And I've been educating and mentoring and talking to other broadcasters, especially young broadcasters who, they want to get in the saddle right away. And that's typically not how it works unless someone else has blazed a big trail in front of you, or just the right doors opened at the right time. Otherwise, there's guys that are 50 years old that have still never made it to D1 athletics or anything like that. I know a guy that's in his 50s that's been trying for over 20 years and still not there, man. But I told him, I said, find joy where you're at, man. You got to be happy where you're at, because otherwise you're not going to be happy anywhere. So that's
Then
it,
one
man.
day you'll be like me. You'll realize that, I'm where I need to be. I'm doing what I need to be doing. And what a long, strange trip it's been.
Yeah.
I mean,
You never thought you'd be doing
God
this,
has
would
led
you?
me down so many different roads. And up until a couple years ago, I couldn't quite put it all together. But now I can put it all together, and I realize why he did what he did when he did what he did, and why he did it. So, yeah.
I just feel like, I'm not saying this negatively, but I feel like if you're not a part of some things here in the community, you're kind of forgotten. And that's how I kind of feel about a couple of things.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, and I don't say this negatively, I'm just saying what I'm saying, that there's a lot of people that I used to talk to that I never hear from anymore now that I'm not part of Sam Houston or Huntsville ISD anymore. And I used to hear from certain people all the time, hey, how you doing? What's going on? And now it's like, oh, well, let's discredit him. And this is where I get at, too. Enjoy the journey while you're there, but also enjoy the valley when you're in it, because you got to find that joy in all situations and all things. And God will move you through different seasons, and you can't find joy in people is what I'm getting at. You got to find joy in Him, find joy where you're at, and the rest will work itself out. And I wouldn't change a thing, like you said, man. I bet if you were here, how long have you been in the funeral business now?
I started working there part-time in 2008, and then I went full-time in 2017.
So it's been a hot minute then. I've
seen some things.
So what, 15 years now, right? Would you say? Is that a good estimate? 2025 and 08. Is that 15 years?
I think it's more than that, isn't it?
So we'll say nearly 20.
Yeah, it feels like 200 years.
But would you have thought, let's go back 20 years ago, Billy, would you have thought you'd be where you're at
now?
No. You never, funeral business wasn't on your mind, none of that?
Nope. I remember my first day at the funeral home like it was yesterday. I was not hired to do anything funeral related. I was hired to help move some cars around and get them all back to one location. And they tricked me. And I remember that I had to go help them in the back with some certain tasks, and going to lunch with Jacqueline that day and pretty much bawling like a baby that I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be doing that, but my family needed me to be there financially. And it's funny how that materialized into what it is today, and my love and passion for the industry and the people. And
That's
again,
cool, man.
what a long, strange trip it's been.
Where did it? I don't know if I've ever asked you this. Maybe I have, and if I have and I've forgotten, please forgive me, Billy. But where did it start, man? Like, what was the? I know you said obviously a need for your family, but I mean, where did it start? Something had to trigger it and say, "Man, I got to go do this."
I was operating a little tow truck business, and Oh,
That's
God.
awesome. I can see that, man. That's great.
Well, here's the problem. I've always wanted to help people. I've always enjoyed helping people, and I like cool trucks, and that, like, the two of them just kind of went together. So, but the problem I had with the wrecker business, like, I would see some little old lady on the side of the road with a flat tire or something, and I would stop and change it, and then I would give her a business card and be like, all right, well, call me if you ever need anything. And then they would leave, and I would leave, and it's like, oh, you dummy, you're supposed to collect money for doing that type of stuff. I was out there helping, But I was at my aunt's funeral, and I was sitting in the foyer of the chapel area.
Where was this at again?
At Sam Houston Funeral Home. And
the Samuel Walker Houston Elementary Funeral Home.
Yes, Ken, that's where it's at. I had known Larry Graves pretty much my entire life. He used to, my dad used to do the remodeling at Huntsville Funeral Home, and Larry would always come sit behind my dad at the Huntsville Hornet football games. Our reserved seats were right in front of the handicap area, and there was a rail, and Larry would come hang over that rail, and he'd talk to my dad. So I knew him. And I was at my aunt's funeral after Sam Houston opened up when they left Huntsville Funeral Home, and Larry walked by, and he was like, hey, how's it going? And I just, I popped off and said, well, if it doesn't get any better, I'm going to be working for you. And lo and behold, he called me that night. There was a bad, like, Katrina, Rita, one of them storms was coming in. And
were you like in your 20s then, I guess, probably, something like that?
Yeah, I was in my 20s. Larry had, some vehicles that, like, he had loaned out to people. Like, he had loaded this dude a truck to do this, and he had a motorhome that it was out at this place or whatever. And he called me up and said, hey, I have this stuff, and I want to get it all back to my house or here at the funeral home, whatever. Could you come in and help me do that? I was, sure. So I showed up the next morning, and we went to Trinity, and we got something and brought it back. And, I mean, literally got it back. We were standing in the garage, and he goes, hey, I need you to go in there and help them get that guy dressed. And deer in the headlights, people. If you've ever seen deer in the headlight, that was me. But I didn't want them to know that I was chicken to do that stuff. So I went back there, and I helped. And that's when I learned just how compassionate the funeral industry is. And I will assure you, you'll be treated better once you pass than you ever were when you were alive. I mean, it's very dignified.
You'll be treated better when you're deader.
Yeah, exactly. But I went back there and did that. And again, I went to lunch with Jacqueline that day, and I was, oh God, I was crying like a baby. I didn't want to do that. That wasn't for me.
Had you ever seen anything like that before, I guess?
I had, I was a volunteer firefighter, and I was also, in the wrecker business. We go out on the scenes, but I had never been that personally up close and involved in the care aspect of it, But I just, we finished that day of work, and then he needed me the next day and the next day. And then, honest to God, one morning there was a little voice in my head right as I was waking up, and it said, it's going to be all right. And then it didn't bother me anymore. And then I got the bug. I wanted to be up there every chance I could. They had me running back and forth to Dallas, going to the medical examiner's office. I was doing it all. I couldn't get enough of it. And it was the right thing at the right time because it was helping my family. Matter of fact, Jacqueline, she tells a joke. We had James. James was a baby. And then she was pregnant with Lily. The day she had Lily, they got her back into the recovery room. I went up to see her. I changed into my funeral clothes and went and worked a visitation while my wife was recovering from having her second child.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's a cool story, though, man. I love, that's why you got to be open to, you got to have the right attitude and be open.
There's that. And then there's the story of how I went full time, which I don't know if I ever told you that.
No, let's share it, man. Yeah.
I was working for the prison system, and when I first started there, I had like the best job. And I was having fun, and I was really, really good at the job, and that was noticed. It was noticed that I was the guy that could get that done. If it was messed up, I could fix it.
Can I ask what it was?
I was their heavy-duty tow truck driver.
Oh, sweet.
So I was going all over my area, take 1960 in Houston and draw a line from east to west across, use that as your dividing point. everything from 1960 north. I mean, I'm talking all the way up to New Boston. That was my territory. If it broke down, came from together, wheels weren't on the ground, you know what I'm saying? I went and dealt with it. When I first started, it was me and Mike Camella, and then he went over to Huntsville Mechanical, and it was just me for a while. Oh, and I loved that, man. I'd love to be needed like that. And, you know, I'm getting, like, I would have a day off, and they would, you know, like the big honchos from, like, way up the chain there would call and say, hey, look, we got this problem, and we need you to address it. So I would go in, jump in a big freight liner, and just as fast as that thing could carry me, away we went. So, but I made the horrible, horrible mistake that a lot of people that go to work for the state do. And it's not hard. It's not hard to do. If you do your job right, next thing you know, you'll get promoted. And then you'll be over people, not necessarily projects. And when I promoted, and I went from being a free-range chicken, you know what I'm saying, out on the road, doing my own thing, making my own shots, getting it done, to being stuck in a little office, which I refer to as the aquarium, because where I was at, there were windows all the way around me, so everybody and their mama could walk by like it was a fish aquarium and stare at me. And I couldn't win. I was in charge of the maintenance and repairs and all that on all the prison buses, and I don't know if y'all know anything about prison buses. They are all low-mileage, one-owner buses.
Didn't know that.
Didn't know that. Oh,
I
yeah.
figured they'd been like old bangers.
Yeah, I'm being
you know?
very sarcastic. They're like,
okay, I was about to say.
This was 2013. Some of these buses were 91, 92
yeah, I was about
model.
to say, these things have been on the road for a while.
They got 1 million miles on them, and they've spent $1 million on fixing them. It is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. But anywho, I got to where I didn't like the job. I didn't like the people I worked with. I didn't like me, and that hatred was starting to roll off to my family. Yeah. And I dropped to my knees one night, and I prayed to God, and the tears rolled. If he would get me out of there, I would go anywhere, and I would do anything, and I wouldn't question it. If God could just rescue me from the pits of hell, which was that job that I had, I would go. And at the same time, I was the scoutmaster of Troop 98, and we had a bunch of equipment under the scout lodge that had gotten wet. So I would put it in my truck, and I was taking it and putting it in the dumpster at Scout Lodge. Well, I filled that dumpster up, so I called up to the funeral home, and I said, hey, can I throw some stuff in the dumpster? And like, oh, yeah, come on. So I load my truck up, and I'm out there, and I'm filling this dumpster up. And when I say I'm filling it up, I'm filling this sucker up. And to the point to where if that would have happened today, I would have been screaming at somebody to get that crap out of here. That doesn't look good. But I was filling that dumpster up, and they came to the back door, and they said, hey, Larry wants to see you in his office now. And I'm like, this is some crap, man. I asked for permission to use this dumpster, right?
Yeah.
But I went in his office, and he said, shut the door, and I did. And he pointed the little fingers at me. He says, I've been praying for someone to come here and help me run this place. I think you're it. That was it. That was my So he says, do you need to talk this over with your wife? And, of course, I said, no, sir. I need to step out in the hallway and call HR and give them 2 weeks. And I literally, right outside of what is now my office door, I called HR and said, y'all can take this ID and insert it wherever you want to. My last day is so-and-so. And that's what I did.
Wow.
Now, of course, when this was going on, I had put an application in for the Forest Service, and I really – you know how, like, you think you make plans, but, God's going to override those plans.
Oh, yeah, 100,000%.
I had put in to go to work for the Forest Service, and I had talked to everyone that I knew that worked there. And Billy, we got you. We're putting a good word in for you, man. If it comes my way, I got you, yada, yada, yada. I went to work for the funeral home, and I guess I was there for about 2 weeks. And the Forest Service called to set up my interview.
What'd you tell them? Sorry.
No, I turned it down, and that's the running joke sometimes. That, maybe I should have went on that interview. So, but no, God led me, and people are like, "Oh, that's just a coincidence." The things that I have been through, the hurdles that I've come across with mortuary school, which is not easy. It's not easy, and it's not cheap. The hurdles that I've come across, it's like God has put a bridge there over troubled water. I've made it, and I've kept my promise. You know, I know people say, well, you don't make a deal with the Lord. Well, I think he knew where I was at and what I was going through, and he helped me, and I feel like I made a deal with him, and I'm sure he doesn't feel that way, but I'm doing his work for his people.
Yeah.
So every day, even when I wish I was off on the weekend or something, I can still wake up and say, you know what, I'm going to go do great things for great people, and away I go.
Man, I love that, Billy. You know, that's the inspiration this morning, man. It's just Billy's story, and you know, if you just joined us, go back after the broadcast is over and go listen to it, because we were talking a lot about just finding joy where you're at, and then the hurdles of having to get where you're at, and maybe you're in a storm this morning like Billy was when he talked about that storm that he was in the middle of, and just praying, getting on his knees, praying, Lord, show me something, give me something. And as God always does, he's faithful, and there you go. And that is why you're sitting here today and doing what you're doing. I'm not talking about sitting here, but you know what I mean, sitting there and working at the job that you have and being showing compassion to families. And it takes a special person to do that. My really good friend of mine just lost his wife a couple of days ago to cancer. I hadn't talked to him in 6 months, and I'd always hear from him. He'd always text me. I'd text him, and then, you know, you get in the middle of life, and it had been 6 months, and I'd messaged him the other day, and I said, hey, brother, I was just thinking of you. It was around Christmas time, and I wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas. And he said, thank you so much for reaching out. And he said, my wife is in hospice, and I'm at home taking care of her. And then 2 days later, you know, but he has always been a man of faith. One guy that I look at that is, I've never seen him get upset. He's always had compassion. He used to go with me and broadcast when I was doing my first college broadcasting for Southwestern University in Georgetown, a D3 school. Michael was always there with me. And, man, we had some good road trips. That's one thing that I miss the most about some of that is at the smaller level, you drive. You don't fly to any of these schools. And so we would get up.
Oh, you might fly, but it's in your car.
Yeah, you're flying down the highway in your car. And so we'd get it. The local Ford dealership would hook us up with one of those really cool Ford Transit vans. And I'm talking like as close to a luxury one as you could get. The big black one, tinted windows. Looked like we were rolling out of the club somewhere. You know, this thing.
Getting tipsy.
Yeah. But this thing had 18 seats in it. We only needed 5. And so we'd roll up to these schools, and they thought, man, who are these bigwigs showing up?
Yeah.
And then we get out, and they're like, oh, it's nobody.
Well, their driver showed up.
But it was neat, and Michael went with us to so many games, and I love Michael because he always have a CPAP machine. So he and another guy that worked with us, they would always room together because they both had CPAPs. And I always wanted to walk into that room at like 2 a.m. and hear the, both of them going at once.
Oh man, I'm supposed to wear one of those things, and I don't. I can't. I'm what they call intolerant.
Yeah.
Don't touch me when I'm sleeping. I don't want nothing on me.
Well, hey, many of you are joining us. We do want to welcome you in. Thanks for being a part of it this morning as we rock and roll here on this Faithful Friday, episode number 428 of Good Morning Huntsville. Big thank you to Elliot Herzlich from Elliot's Jewelers. He's online at elliotsjewelers.com for all of your jewelry needs. Go by and see our good friend Elliot Herzlich. Again, the website, elliotsjewelers.com. And, of course, here on this Faithful Friday, we couldn't be here and have so many episodes and promote so many good things and share so many good stories now for closing in on 2 years this March. Can you believe that? Without Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. They have been taking care of families here for a very long time. And Billy and the folks over there are so compassionate. We got a mutual friend that is just really enjoying his job over there now. And it's
contagious.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. He's talking about going to school, and y'all are encouraging that. And
talking about it. Well, I'm riding him like a rented mule. We're going to get this done.
So he's enjoying it, and again, it takes special people to do that, and that may be the situation you're facing. You know, like my friend Michael right now going through a very tough situation. He's got folks back in his hometown that are taking care of him. Well, the folks that will take care of you in your hometown is Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. You got a young man who's born and raised here, who's grown up here, who's invested here, and who is genuinely here and genuinely wants to serve you and your family during that time of need. So please, give them a call first. I know people sometimes may know somebody somewhere else, and that's okay, but give Billy a call first. And it's just like me with advertising and marketing. I always tell people, I'm not going to lose a deal to you because of price. give me the chance to at least do something. And when you do that, good things can sometimes happen. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have people to call all the time, and they're shopping, and that's okay.
That's
I do the same
consumer,
thing.
yep.
And Carrie will say, well, Billy's here. Well, they don't know me, and then they come in, they're like, hang on a minute, I know you. You're da da da. Yes, you do know me. So.
Billy opened up my eyes, and Greg's educated me on this too. If you go to a funeral home, and I'm not knocking, any place, but if you go to a funeral home and it says, perfect example, Cook Walden Davis in Georgetown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is
there a tree on the sign?
There's a tree on the sign, and it has a little.
Don't ever trust a funeral home with a tree on the sign.
And they got a little dignity to them.
That's what they say
on logos. And so we always went there. Billy's right. We always went there because we thought, it's the Walden family. Well, a lot of these hometown funeral homes get bought out by big corporations. And you know what happened after?
And they never say a word.
No, they don't say a word. And you think so you'll say, what do you say, Billy, is someone that, I've always went to so-and-so.
I've always went over here to so-and-so. They've been taking care of my family for 100 years. Well, yeah, 12 years ago, they sold out and kept the name. And you ain't going to know a single soul up in that place. And they're not worried about you. They're worried about the numbers.
Yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that this one, now we've developed a relationship with Tina and because she's been there for a long time. But you're right, and so don't get wrapped up into that misconception either, that just because now Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home is a locally owned and operated funeral home.
Yes, we are
100%.
We be having that.
Yeah. So if somebody comes, I've been dealing with Billy, they genuinely have, because they are the local.
And I don't hand you off to a family service counselor.
I was watching an American Greed episode on CNBC, and one of them was about the funeral industry, and there was a guy that just started buying up funeral homes all over the place, and he ended up, some bad stuff happened. He ended up going to prison for it. That's what the show's about. Mm-hmm. But that, I never realized that, and I mean, this guy was going in, and he just, it was like a free for all. He'd go into a community and big community, and see 15 funeral homes, and he'd write them a check, and then some things started happening, checks started bouncing and all sorts of stuff, and so he legitimately didn't own them but thought that he did, and it was a whole big mess, and he knew what he was doing.
We had a guy that worked for us at another location, and we had to, it was time for him to go, and I talked to him the other day, and he's like, oh, man, you already come down here where I'm at, you get commission for this and commission for that and commission for this, and I'm like, oh, yeah, hey, man, that sounds great. And I'm honest to God, I'm on the edge of my bed talking to him on my cell phone.
You selling cars?
Well, why are they giving you commission for that? If they giving you all the money, how much are they charging? Because he told me what he made off of. I'm like, if they're able to give you that, how much are you charging these people?
Yeah.
Are you really worried? If a person in my industry is making commission off meeting with you, then they're not worried about you. They're worried about getting that check.
Yeah.
If I do 1 or 1,000 a year, I still get the same.
Sounds like somebody selling knives when you go out and make a presentation. You still
something,
get paid for the presentation.
The Ginsu Miracle Blades or something.
I forgot about those.
Yeah, but no, when he was telling me all this stuff, I'm like, and he's working for a place that has a tree on the sign.
Oh yeah.
That don't sound right.
No.
And if that's what they're doing, they ain't taking care of people. They're taking care of profits.
I was frustrated because I knew of a situation not in where I grew up where someone had paid, it was like $10,000 for a funeral with a casket and all that kind of stuff. And then I found out that someone else that I knew, they went to the same funeral home the family did. And I said, do you mind if I ask what y'all paid for that? It was like $9,800. And it was a cremation. And it was less than what the $10,000 funeral was. And I was like, boy, somebody just took y'all. Mm-hmm.
Well, if they're paying their people commission off everything they do versus just having a base salary, again, they're not worried about the families; they're worried about the profits.
You get $20 every time you answer the phone. It's like a little green button with a dollar sign on it.
I bet Miss Carrie would love that because we get so many telemarketer calls a day. She only have to work 1 day a year.
Hey, on a final note about this conversation while we're having, again, Billy here, of course, every Friday with Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. I heard that you're on the move, man. You know, there's some movement coming up for you, which is really exciting.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, some movement.
Where am I moving to? You talking about my office?
Yeah.
Yeah, finally. Yeah, me and Judith, we had to split up there.
Yeah, it's kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah. It's funny because, I've been in an office with her since, 21. So, we 4 or 5 years now, we've shared an office. And
Yeah.
of course, when they got my office ready, first thing she told everybody knows J Money. I don't, those of y'all that go to Friday know J Money.
That's why you need to go to Friday, not this Friday.
To the lunch and not this Friday. But she, get out. She told me to get. So we made a joke about that, but then she came down the hallway just yesterday, and she's like, because I'd made a joke. I said, look, I'll get us some little kids walkie-talkies. You remember those? Little walkie-talkies.
I had the Kool-Aid.
You talk to your neighbor across the street, your best buddy or whatever. So I'm like, hey, look, I'll just get us some little CB radios or something that we can talk to one another. She came down the hallway, and she goes, don't do that, because then that'll take out our personal interaction.
Yeah.
And then she made a joke about getting her steps in, coming all the way down the hall to see me. So, No, she's been a great pleasure to work with. For those of y'all that don't know Judith, we call her J Money, but it's Miss Judith Rodriguez, and she's a rock star in the industry too. She smartest doggone person I know.
Yeah, she does great work, man.
But like to me and Rob, she's
yeah.
But to families, man, she's got a level of love, care, and compassion that's just unmatched. And unless you've gotten the opportunity to interact with her in that situation, you wouldn't know it, because she's tough. But she loves those people and jumps through hoops to help people. It's amazing the lengths that she'll go to serve those families.
That's what it's about at Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. And so, again, when you're faced with that tough decision, call our friends at Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Before we take our first break, my sister.
What she said?
Well, she said, listen to the Noble podcast about what happened in Noble, Georgia. Now, do you know about this? There's a scandal that went on there. It's related to the funeral business.
I think that might be the one where the
Tri-County,
the Tri-County crematory.
Yeah, they were storing some stuff, and
they were storing some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, wow.
Matter of fact, we had in mortuary school, it's like a regular college. We had to do reports and stuff, and that was the one thing that we couldn't do a report on, was the Tri-County.
Really? Because I guess it was so known.
I guess so many people have done it. She wanted you to really go and research and do stuff like that. So.
Oh, Ray Brent Marsh, good night. 787 counts of a theft by deception, abusing, burial-related fraud, and giving false statements. Good night.
If that's the one, we did cover that, and we all had to read it and go in depth on it. But if that's the one, I'm thinking, homeboy actually just had a bag of Saccrete in his office, and that was what you would get back when you had your loved one.
Just concrete?
Concrete.
In a bag?
Yeah.
Good night.
just put a couple scoops out, and here you go.
Well,
remember that when you're going to those places that don't actually have an office that you can go in and visit.
And he goes, and please, one thing I got to tell y'all, folk, don't put water on it, please.
It becomes a memory stone.
Yeah, it's a special kind.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a break. Hey, you know what? We're going to give away a little more Cafe Texan today. We'll get those cards in next week. And all you got
some Cafe Texan.
There you go, man. All you got to do is text in the keyword, and we've made the keyword. It was a waste of it this week. Cold. I was bummed out, man. When it's 35 degrees and pouring down rain, what an absolute waste of cold. I would much rather it be 30 degrees and freezing rain, sleet, and snow than cold 35-degree rain. Because in that sleet and snow and freezing rain, I don't know. It's just it feels wintry. Does that make sense? 35 and cold rain. It just makes me feel sick. And then my cousin goes on guess where my cousin lives? She's up in Dallas, and what she posting videos of. How much snow they got. 5 inches in some areas up there in Dallas where it was snowing. So, keyword is cold, though. Text that in, cold, along with your name on the 0 Degree Creations phone and text line. One final opportunity to win this week, 936-339-0139. We'll take a break. We'll get to some of your comments when we come back. Do us a favor. Hit like and share. Let us know that you're out there. And as always, this broadcast on a faithful Friday is brought to you by.
I know you're finna go to break.
That's
So we probably talk on break. Could you get like a monitor right here?
Probably could, yeah. Wouldn't that
Because like I try to read the comments, and the people out here in podcast land are probably like, why does Billy keep staring at Rob so?
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to read the comments coming in.
All right, we'll take.
I'm mad because I don't have a First Baptist Church hoodie.
Yeah. You know what? Can I say something else too about?
It's your show.
Being a. It's our show, Billy. Being appreciated where you work. You know, there's a certain place that I worked at for years, and I never really got a shirt or anything.
They can't even get a light on.
And then one day, this really like bothered me. One day I walk in and everybody has new shirts except me. And then I would later find out that a certain person running a place took somebody personally to go pick out shirts and get them made. And I'm like, are you kidding me? So it never was about me, but I'm like, man, as soon as when I got up to Fargo, that Radio FM Media, great group of people, man. She told me, she goes, here's our card. Don't spend over $500. She goes, spend up to $500. And I'm telling you, spend up to $500. Just don't go over it. And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, I'm telling you to spend $500. And so she goes, go to Shields and buy. And she goes, I don't want you to buy like knockoff stuff. She goes, I want you to buy the what is the one? North Face. Mm-hmm. She goes, and Columbia. And she goes, you go get whatever you want up to $500 and get warm clothes. Bring them back to us, and we'll get them monogrammed for you. And they did, man. I mean, that was the coolest thing ever. And when I left, I said, do you want any of this back? She goes, no, keep it. And I still have it all. I wear it every once in a while, although it says Bison 1660 on it.
They make a deal where you can shave that embroidery off.
I might need to do that.
Might need to get with Stephanie at the Bennett Specialties.
Absolutely. Well, we'll take a break. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. It's your show on a Faithful Friday, brought to you by Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. It is our family serving yours since 2002. Stay with us. More to come here on Good Morning Huntsville. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Huntsville Executive Office Suites. Elevate your business image with prestigious move-in ready suites ranging from 150 to 3,000 square feet. Enjoy conference and training rooms, furnished and unfurnished options, custom build-outs, phone service, and a welcoming lobby. Coffee bar and dining area included for tenants. Benefit from 24/7 secure access and flexible lease terms. Located on Lake Road. Move-in begins in January. Contact Raven Property Management at 936-225-4378.
Illuminate your child's future at Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools in Huntsville. Established in 1997 by Kay Boning, our award-winning center merges Christian values with 25 years of Montessori excellence, promoting wonder and discovery in every child. As the only Montessori school within 45 miles, we provide a fun and friendly environment, individualized Montessori methods, and love and care as if each child were our own. Safety is a priority, and with a recent $50,000 $100,000 investment, our facilities inspire growth, creativity, and learning. Plus, as a nonprofit, we open Montessori doors to families of all economic backgrounds. Partner with the community pillar where every child's promise shines bright. Discover tomorrow's promise Montessori schools today. Visit tpms.life. That's tpms.life. This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
This is Kay Boning with Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, and you're listening to Spirit Radio.
Support for SpiritRadio.fm comes from loyal listeners just like you. Want to help spread the good news across Huntsville and beyond? Underwriting opportunities are available for loyal listeners, businesses, and nonprofits. Visit SpiritRadio.fm and tap Donate today.
Well, this date in 1910, the Russian ballerina Galina Ulevana Bolshi was born. Just thought that was really important information there.
Oh, God, how could I start my day without it?
Yeah, so she passed away in 1998, by the way. She's 78 years old. Ballerina Galina Ulevana. I just wanted to say that because I like the name. Now I'm going to have to go Google her and see who it is.
She must be pretty good. I mean, she made your list there.
1935, the famous opera singer, Cheryl Milnes. Nobody knows who any of these people. I have no clue. Why did they
Where did you get this
Why
today?
did they send me this?
Nobody gives a damn.com.
Yeah, like singer Brad Roberts. Do you know who that is? 1964, Crash Test Dummies. Do you know that group?
I remember the Crash Test Dummies.
Okay, well, he was born. You know Three Doors Down, that group,
oh,
right?
Yeah, I know them, yeah.
Three Doors Down. The guitarist, Matt Roberts, born in 1978. Died in 2016. Young guy. Trying to look through a few more here. Oh, Justin Miller. Justin Miller, Cooking with Justin. That's not the Justin. No, I'm thinking of Justin Wilson, the Cajun guy.
Oh yeah, that's got the I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
the Cajun dude. Yeah, that's not him. I got excited for a moment. None of these. I don't even know who any of these are. On this day, American Revolutionary War hero. Are you like a history? Do you like history sometimes? Like
you know, I do, but it's more like local history type stuff that I like, not U.S. or some Texas stuff.
I like local history pretty good, man. I need to learn. I go back to Georgetown. It's funny because I haven't been there, I haven't lived there obviously in a long time, but I go back and I feel like I still know all the history of that town. And it's funny because I see stuff on a group that's, what do you miss most about Georgetown? And somebody will post like, oh, I miss when this was here. And I'm like, that thing, you don't even know what that used to be, man. That was 5 years ago. Let's rewind 40 years ago and we'll tell you what it is. We had a really famous place there called a Chuck Wagon Cafe, and old Georgetown people know what that is. It was a really famous spot right off Main Interstate 35, and people don't know what they're. And L&M Cafe was another one. We had two of those. Just like Huntsville, we got the Cafe Texan. I'm sure, though, that there was other cafes that were landmarks here that are no longer here. Can you think of anything like that?
We used to have a place called the Feed Store, which is where Papa Lacho's is now. There was the Sizzler. There was Bullwinkle's.
That sounds like a fun one.
It was.
Bullwinkle.
Bullwinkle.
Hey, where y'all going? Hi, Bubba.
I remember the day Bullwinkle's burnt down.
Hi, Bubba. Where y'all going after church?
Bullwinkle.
Well, we're going to Bullwinkle's, Bubba. You want to go?
Let's see. There was.
You want to go to Good Buddy Club?
Where Time Wise Chevron is, and for those of y'all that don't know, that's in front of Harbor Freight and all that. There was a steakhouse there where that gas station is.
Really?
Yep. Like the Western or something, and. Yeah.
Huh. It's kind of cool to think about all the local history, though, and all that kind of stuff.
And Huntsville has a lot of it.
That's cool. There's not really a whole lot here, but this is kind of cool. So check this out. 1840, the penny post mail system. On this day began in the United States, which meant a lot of work for poor Penny. Mr. Post just sat around and made her do all the work. Needless to say, after a while, Penny Post got pretty tired of delivering all that mail. Penny Post mail system began in 1840. I wonder what that was, the penny post mail system. That's not the main mail system, is it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe
Never heard
it
of
just
it.
cost a penny to mail a letter. You ever think about that? Like of course, they're under a lot of fire right now, and I get mad at them too. But like the post office, how they manage to pull all that stuff off?
How do they stay operating when they lose billions every year?
Money or letters?
Everything. It's
packages.
It's the inefficiency of government-ran institutions, and then they want to get involved in healthcare. And I made this comment years ago when all the Obamacare came out. I'm not getting super political. I'm just making a statement that makes common sense, at least to me. If you can't run the postal system, how do you expect to govern the healthcare of our nation? Because it does. The USPS loses billions of dollars a year. So how can you stay in operation when you have UPS and FedEx that are privately owned companies, or publicly traded, I guess you could say, but they're, you know what I'm saying, they're corporations that aren't related to the government. They have to be profitable or they don't stay in business.
Well, I know a couple of retired postal workers, letter carriers, whatever they. Matter of fact, I think the ones that I know were like rural, like where they drove their own car or whatever. But I listened to them talk, and and we could partially be at blame for this. There is such a shift in the way we conduct our day-to-day lives now versus how it was 20, 40, 50, 60 years ago. They were talking about, back when they started, they were delivering mail. They were putting mail in people's boxes, and that was great. And then, online shopping started, and they were delivering little packages. But now people are going online, and they are buying dog food. I mean, stuff that they used to go to town and get themselves, they're having mailed to them. So now you got this little old letter carrier who's in her, mid-60s or whatever, trying to wrestle around a 55-pound bag of Old Roy and deliver it to your doorstep. So these people are hurting themselves trying to deliver this stuff. And and because of that, they're retiring. They're cashing their chips in, man. They're done. It's BS. So you got a new group of people that are coming in that's never really worked before in their life, and now they're realizing that's not what they want to do. They want to get back on government assistance or something, and it's just we've kind of done it to ourselves because we get. And let me tell you, the Cawthon household is the worst, man. Anything that could be delivered is getting delivered,
Oh, yeah.
So
we had a swing set delivered to the house now, thankfully USPS, but that thing was heavy. I don't even know how he delivered it.
I needed something. I think it was right around Christmas time, or maybe that weird gap of time between Christmas and New Year's where nothing makes sense. I needed something, which Home Depot. I'm gonna go off on Home Depot for a second. I'm gonna rant here. Rants with Billy. Home Depot, I needed something, so I got my little phone out and looked, and yep, they got it, and this is what aisle it's on. So I go in the store, and I look, and I can't find it. I finally find what I need up on this upper shelf, where you're supposed to ask an associate for help. So there's a young lady there, and I said, "Hey, ma'am, I'm looking at this here, and it's right there, and I need to." She says that's an unregistered item, or something. I can't remember exactly, but it was something weird, like a word that didn't belong there. And she says, we can't sell that to you. I said, well, according to my phone here, y'all got 12 of them, and I just need 2 of them. And you have them here, and they're on the shelf. It's unregistered. No. So I'm holding a thing of super glue, and what I'm needing is Flex Seal tape, which that stuff's amazing for those of y'all that don't know. So I'm holding this super glue, and I walk up to the customer service desk, and I talk to the little lady there. I said, hey, I'm needing this. And I showed her my phone. I said, but your person in the back says she can't sell it to me. And I told her what she said. She goes, let me have the SKU number. Like, I'm supposed to know what the SKU number is. But anywho, she looks on my phone and she gets, oh, no, we can sell that. So she goes back there and she tells the lady. She's like, no, we didn't. And she goes, well, I didn't know. And they kind of bicker at one another for a second. And then she gets the 10,000-pound orange ladder that's always in the way. Yeah. And she climbs up there and she gets it for me. And I said, oh, no, ma'am, this is the wrong color. I wanted this. Well, I said, no, hey, don't even worry about it. You know what? Apparently, y'all don't want to sell nothing today. And I took my little thing of super glue and I kind of flung it up on the paint counter desk because that's where all that crap's at.
Yeah.
And walked out. I went home, and I'm pretty hot, man, because, you know, my whole life is taking care of people. You need something, by God, we figure out how to make it happen. So I'm sitting in my recliner, and I do first I go to Amazon.
I love that you have a recliner, by the way.
You don't have a recliner?
Do you have like a little lamp that turns over and like a little stand next to it where you can put your coffee mug and all that?
No, it's got a console thing. It's got two cup holders
there
in
you
it.
go. That's awesome.
You don't have one of those?
I got like a couch recliner, but like I'm picturing you like in a lazy boy, you know, like big old huge fuzzy recliner with the pull arm on it.
I just got a little electric button.
Okay, yeah.
Takes 3 days to go from down to up, you know. Anywho, so I'm sitting there and I put it in Amazon, and they have some, but it'd be like a week to get it. I'm like, no, man, I really need to get that stuff. So I noticed Walmart has it. So I click on it. I'm thinking, oh, man, if they got that in the store, you know, for those of y'all that know me, I try to avoid Walmart at all costs. But I'm like, if they got it, we need it, I'll run up there and get it. Well, they don't have it, but they claim they can have it to me like next day or something. So I order the super glue that I needed, and I order the Flex Seal tape. And I'm thinking, it's going to come in the mail, right?
What'd you need all this for?
One of them was a project I was doing, and the other one, Olivia had like a little porcelain angel doll or whatever that it got knocked over and it broke, and I glue it back. But I'm like, okay, cool. You know, in a day or so, it'll come in the mail, and I'll do my project. 30 minutes later or so, I'm still sitting in the recliner. But 30 minutes later, there's a dude drives up in his car, and there's a dog in the back, and I'm thinking, oh, you at the wrong house, man. You ain't supposed to be here. And he gets out, and he has a little package, and he sets it by my door.
And he delivered it.
They delivered that super glue to me within 30 minutes.
Wow.
If that
you did a Walmart delivery? Is that through their app or something?
Yeah.
Huh.
Isn't that, it just totally blew my mind. I
didn't know they did that.
That poor guy, and this super glue was like, for a 4-pack, it was like $1.62. They drove all the way out to my house in the county to deliver $1.62 worth of super glue.
Did you get the Flex Seal tape also?
Yeah, on time, just like they said they would.
Well, you ought to call back Home Depot and be like, not only did they not bark about it, they delivered it to my house.
Tell them orange vest people that them blue vest people are on to them.
Yeah. Oh, that's great, man.
Yeah.
Well, good stuff. Well, let's take a final break. We're just hanging out, chatting today, and enjoying it. Thank you all for being with us here on this Faithful Friday.
I got on my hand.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know.
Billy's hand is covered in dirt. Where'd that come from?
I don't think I picked my nose. I'd have to go pretty far to get that.
I guess the paint's rubbing off on these chairs now.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's that Amazon special.
Them Amazonians. That's what we call them at the funeral home. Them Amazonians made a delivery.
We'll take a break. Hey, final opportunity to text in the keyword. We are giving away a gift card to Cafe Texan. All you got to do is text in the keyword along with your name, cold, and your name on the 0 Degree Creations phone and text line at 936-339-0139. Again, that is for Cafe Texan. Appreciate Tiffany Gobble and the great staff over there, Vance Howard, for he's really the one that gave us the idea. So why don't you start giving away gift cards every month? He came on the show one time and said, I love this and I want to help out. And so he gives us gift cards almost every month.
I wish he'd give me some to give away.
Yeah, just giving away my bellies where they'd go.
I'd take people with me.
Cold is it, and text it in. By the way, there is no restaurant report today. We'll do a quick restaurant report recap, and then we'll also call our winner when we come back.
Yeah, Rob will have to remind me where we went. I remember.
Yeah, I'll remind you what I had.
Hey, mine was great.
Yeah, I'll tell my story when we come back. So stay with us as we wrap it up here in just a few moments. It's your show. This is Good Morning Huntsville, brought to you by Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union, and our business is helping you take care of your business. In addition to personal accounts, Walker County Federal Credit Union also offers business accounts and business lending for commercial customers. We're devoted to taking care of the needs of our individual members and helping our business members with their financial success too. Call us today and find out how easy it is to work with Walker County Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA.
Imagine a professional office space that elevates your business image without the corporate price tag. Huntsville Executive Office Suites are coming soon to Lake Road. Enjoy high-speed internet, a fully equipped kitchen, and 24/7 secure access. Take advantage of our live answering service, advertising on our outdoor video sign, and a convenient location just a quarter-mile from SHSU. Lease terms start at 6 months. Call Raven Property Management at 936-225-4378. Huntsville Executive Office Suites. Grow your business without outgrowing your budget.
This is Deneen with Guardian Defense, and you're listening to Spirit Radio.
Support for SpiritRadio.fm comes from loyal listeners just like you. Want to help spread the good news across Huntsville and beyond? Underwriting opportunities are available for loyal listeners, businesses, and nonprofits. Visit SpiritRadio.fm and tap Donate today.
All right, back at it now. 829, feeling fine. Welcome to Taco Bell. Can I take your order, please?
Yeah, I want one of them Gordita Crunch things.
There was a guy that was joking around about how airline pilots sound, and he put his microphone like this in his mouth and started talking. And I just started thinking about how bad that thing stinks now.
Well, remember, we talked about these things one time. The
gross. I showed a picture. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Thing was all caked up. Old dude I used to work with named Merle. And he broadcast baseball. He goes, you can use my headset, Rob. And I used it, and I had to take it off because, man, this thing stunk.
We had a service here a couple weeks ago, and the speaker that was up there talking kept bumping the microphone, and somebody came up to me after, and they're like, if you'd put a wind guard on there, that would stop that popping. I'm like, well, if he would get it out of his throat, that might help too.
Well, if you'd like to come here and volunteer to be our audio expert. By the way, Billy, congratulations. Got a warning this morning. Just a warning.
Who warned it?
You got a warning.
I got a warning. I sure did.
There was a situation that Billy was involved in this morning.
I was running from the law.
I told Billy I was running late because we had another Burger King blowout this morning, although it wasn't Burger King. 2 days in a row, my boy decides he's just going to wait until right before we walk out the door. And that ends up adding about 15 to 20 minutes to the routine. So I didn't leave the house until right before 7 this morning. I've been leaving at 6:20. But we got up a little bit later. Kids were kind of restless last night. I haven't been feeling too hot. And so they didn't go to bed till about 9. They're normally in bed at 8. So that hour kind of threw them off, threw me off. But anyways, here's what we were dealing with this morning, by the way. Can you describe what was happening here, Billy? What was happening here, if you don't mind, real quick?
Is that my car?
Yeah.
Well, this morning I got advised by the Huntsville Police Department that my car was not up to safety standards. I had a headlight out. I was coming to the studio. I was minding my own business. I was actually behind a Walker County Sheriff's deputy.
He just waved and smiled, probably.
Yeah, he finally got out of my way because if the speed limit says 35, why are you doing 25?
He probably threw a little pinch of dip at you. Said, good morning,
good morning, boy. But anywho, I turned off of 11th Street onto whatever street that is that runs alongside the Walls unit. And I was pulling up to the stop sign, and a Huntsville police officer cut his lights on. So I'm like, well, who's he going after?
Somebody escape?
And he's behind me with the lights on. I'm like, look, honest to God, people. I said, well, hell, he can't get around me, so moved through the intersection and moved over, and lo and behold, I was the outlaw criminal he was looking for. But living
man.
here my whole life and doing the job that I did, as soon as he stepped out of his car, I'm like, oh, that's B. Davis.
Did he know you?
As soon as he got to the window, he did.
Well, hey there, good feller. How you doing?
Yeah, he advised me of my non-compliant lighting system there in the front there.
Well, thankfully, you only got a warning on that, which is a good thing. So I'm glad that you just got the warning.
I know there's people that have received citations from the Huntsville Police Department, and they get bent out of shape, and
they're just doing their job.
But for 9 times out of 10, those dudes they're going to give you a warning. They just need to advise you that you're not doing it right.
I've been pulled over about 14 times, and I've only gotten 1 ticket. And Bridget said I'm lucky. And you know where the ticket was? It was in West Texas on I-10 outside of Sonora in Sutton County. And it was I had a red. It is true. I guess they say you get pulled over in a red car more often than not. And I was going 90 on I-10. Everybody goes 90 in that area because it's just in the middle of nowhere. And this guy pulls up behind me just like that cop off of Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, Ernest P. Coltrane.
Yeah, pulled right up behind me, and we start talking, and I start talking about, somehow we got into talking about, he said, where are you going? I said, well, I'm broadcasting. Well, somehow Bill Schoening, his name came up from the San Antonio Spurs. And, I like them Spurs. And we just had this amazing, great 15-minute conversation. Just a good conversation, right? And I'm sitting there, I got this one in the bag. He's going to give me a pat on the back and tell me to slow down. You know what he tells me? Well, I've certainly enjoyed this conversation, son, but I still got to write you a ticket. I said, man, if I would have known you were going to write me a ticket, I wouldn't have sit there and talked to you for 15 minutes, man. Wasted 15 minutes of my life. Wrote me a ticket over $200 and ended up having to did defensive driving to knock it down and then had to do all this stuff in Sutton County to take care of it.
Let me tell you my story. I was in Dallas, and I have a commercial driver's license, so I cannot do defensive driving. I was coming back from bringing someone into our care, so I had that person with me. I had missed my exit. I was already, hot as a termite on a hot tin roof. I just couldn't get right that day. I didn't feel good. This was during the height of COVID. I missed my exit. I take the next one. I come down off the ramp. I make it, the road has like the concrete medians, and there's big curves on each side. Mm-hmm. So I make a right. I'm like, I'm going to go down. I'm going to hit the light. I'm going to come back around. I'm going to get on the other side of this thing and get my exit. I got my plan figured out. I come down that ramp, and I'm going towards the traffic light, and there is a motorcycle cop, and he lights me up. Well, there's an opportunity for me to turn left into this driveway, and this driveway runs into a giant brick building. There, I guess it was like a parking lot for whatever that business used to be. It's a giant brick wall. Once you pull in there, you're there. He lights me up. I immediately make the left. I pull into the deal. I roll my window down, put the thing in park, and my hands are on the steering wheel. He comes running up there. Why are you running? What? Why are you running? I said, sir, I'm not running. I was simply getting us out of traffic. That dude chewed me up one side and down the other. Matter of fact, the ticket, it might still be there, used to be hanging on the wall in the music room at the funeral home because it cost me $500.
Are you serious?
Serious as a
because
heart
he
attack.
thought you were running from him?
He thought I was running. Dude, it's a brick building. Where am I going to go?
Where were you at again? Up in Dallas?
Dallas.
Wow.
And he was a
you tell
sergeant, corporal, something, motorcycle, mean guy.
You tell him you were with the funeral home? Like you had a body with you?
You got to disclose all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
that's probably gave you an extra charge on. Well, give him a little bit of extra for carrying old Leroy around.
Oh man, he was less than professional. I'll assure you that.
Wow.
Well, like honest to God, I wish I'd have took a picture so we could have popped it up on the screen. It's this humongous brick wall. Where am I going to go? Like the Kool-Aid Man through it or something,
Oh, yeah. My sister said, what a jerk. Many of you joining us this morning. Let's get to those briefly, and then we'll talk restaurant report and do our phone call and call it a day. Kyle Kreiner joining us, saying good morning. Youngins. Jamie Saucier, good morning to you, my friend. How about Brian Smith in Fargo? He's saying good morning, Robin. I love Brian, man. He's such a good guy. He supports people. That's one of the folks that I still connect with from up there is Brian. He joins us almost every morning, so it's good to see you my friend. My sister joining, saying, Rebecca saying, good morning, Billy and Rob. Happy Friday. Jennifer Augustinetti, she's saying good morning. It's a freezing, fabulous Friday.
Yeah.
Freezing fabulous. Y'all have a blessed weekend. Tanya Kirk joining us, saying good morning. Good morning to you. Quentin Glaze joining us. Mm-hmm. Quentin sent me a Facebook post yesterday of the original beans and bologna. Man, we haven't talked about that in a while. Have you seen the original of where it started?
Where like he's at the convenience store? Yeah.
Yeah, he sent me the original, said here's where it all started. So thank you, Quentin. Appreciate it.
You should have sent that to Miss Weitzer.
She'll like it. Russell Humphrey saying, let's go Huntsville. Good morning to you, Mayor. Good to see you on this morning.
Mayor, I'm expecting a phone call today with a follow-up.
Oh, yeah. We need to get him on a soundboard saying that so I could just push it. Oh, yeah.
Don't you love some Russell?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Wait. Ask me again.
Don't you love some Russell?
Oh, yeah. Matthew Johnson joining us this morning from up in Minnesota. Good to see you today. Kyle Kreiner with us. Rick Boning. How about Rick Boning saying, good morning, fellow dumplings. We got the bat. Were you here that day?
No, but I went and read who everybody was.
It kind of made sense, right? We got the basket. Karen Altum joining us from Postcards and Altum Consulting. So good to see you on this morning, Karen.
She's making sure we're doing our job.
Doing it right, yep. Autumn Wheaton here with us saying good morning, Huntsville family. El Turpening saying good morning. Happy weekend, everyone. Good to have you on as well. Jason Thompson hanging out with us saying he remembers the feed store. He loved going there. Mm-hmm. Christine Mitchell, how about her on this morning? Saying good morning. Start your day. She says start and stay, and your day with Jesus. There you go. And quite a few other ones on here this morning. As my sister said, please play Beans and Bologna today in honor of Billy. I don't think I have it anymore. I got to dig it up. Billy, real quick, restaurant report from last week. I didn't eat my food. I mean, it was just a weird. It was the seasoning in the food. We went to Tipsy Tio's. Great service. My food, and they didn't charge me for it. I'll try it again, but I'll have to eat something else. I had
get that thing that I get.
El Pastor. Is that what I had? The El Pastor tacos. I wasn't a fan. They tasted weird. Jay Money even ate one. She goes, "This doesn't taste right." But your food was good, and Karen Denman gave me her half of her plate, and it was good. I had a sandwich.
Our appetizers were good. We got chips and queso. I was a little surprised the chips weren't warm, but I mean, if you're at home eating them out of the bag, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. But
yeah, a little bit stale, but it was okay.
I had what was it?
Steak bites.
Steak bites, and it's breaded like tenderized steak over a bed of fries, and oh man.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
I'm making them.
Yeah.
What I'm doing there. They're good.
That's why I did.
And then we had to
see, because they can't see.
Y'all see that black stuff on my hand? We don't know where that came from, and it wasn't on there when I got here.
Probably from the steak bites.
Allergic reaction.
Did you go to the rest?
Well, yes, but I washed my hands when I was there.
But other than that, I mean, service was good over there.
Service was good. We also had what was it? The potato something.
Those potatoes were pretty good with jalapenos.
Oh yeah, buddy.
I like what you always say. Drinks were what? They were stayed full. Ice on the drinks.
Yes.
Yeah. Mine was good. I always drink a good Coke Zero when I go out. It was good though. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Rob's Tacos did. I don't know, but everyone else seemed to. Rick and Kay were there. I think their meal was okay.
Karen Denman came. Russell Barnett came.
Yeah, he was there. Jay Money representing the funeral home.
We had a good little turnout for a small crowd.
Yeah.
Now today, no restaurant report. You got some work to do.
Yeah, this is a sandwich day.
So
make a sandwich at home. Leave me alone.
Talk to us later. And I caught up with the Horns yesterday. They've just been battling some illness. Haven't been feeling too good. So
sure, whatever.
So
they don't like me anymore.
No, they love us, man. They're good people. So
they love you. They don't like me.
No. They like you, Billy. So they just weren't feeling too good. So I've been praying that they get
when
feel
Linda
better.
comes and gives me a hug, then I'll drop it.
Yeah.
In the meantime,
Linda, it's going to keep going now.
Yeah.
Let's head over to that 0 Degree Creations phone and text line. We have a winner today, Cafe Texan, coming your way today. If you answer
the phone, pick up the phone. What was it? That was a commercial. Pick up the phone.
Good morning.
Did you pick up the phone?
I did.
You're the winner.
Did you call me?
Please.
Yay!
I personally did not call you. Because I'm not in charge of the randomizer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It was totally random, right?
Totally random.
All right. How are y'all this morning?
You know, we're just out here living the dream, one nightmare at a time.
I'm just loving life. Miss.
Amen.
Sounds like Kathy Schweitzer on with. I was trying to find Beans and Bologna. I was going to play that when you answered, Kathy, but I didn't want to. I couldn't find it, so too bad, Kathy. I'm sorry.
All right. I think we've moved on, so we'll have to have a new song together.
Missed y'all at the football banquet last night.
I know.
Can I clear
I
my
know
throat
it was
enough?
good though.
You dang right, it was good. I had to get over there and give a speech.
You did?
Yeah.
Wow.
I walked up
now
there.
if I would have known that.
Yeah, I know you could have been there heckling me.
I didn't even know there was a banquet.
I walked up there with
have.
my little clipboard and I said, "Y'all were in luck. I made notes. We shouldn't be more than 45 minutes." Of course, my part's at the very end, and it took me about 45 seconds to cover everything. Well, because they made notes and talking points for me to talk on, but the microphone malfunctioned. So what they gave me was like a clip-on lapel mic, but you got to hold the whole thing in your hand, but you can't get the mic too close to the receiver.
Oh yeah.
We had HISD technical difficulties.
Were y'all at the school or at the church?
No, we were at the church.
Oh,
But, the tech team brought their stuff over, which was nice. They had like 2 big screens playing like highlight reels and stuff. But it was the neatest thing, and I've seen it before, but I've never seen it up close. They had projectors, but they were behind the screens.
So they don't get in the way of it. Yeah,
that's
cool.
neat, man.
Well, Kathy, congratulations. Cafe Texan gift card. We'll have it ready for pickup next week. What else have you been up to? We haven't heard from you in a while.
Man, I had to start back working.
Oh,
no. I had all those days off, and then I had to go back to work. So it's kind of, getting back into that swing of things.
Yeah. Well, awesome.
But other than that, things are good.
Well, perfect. Well, we'll get that to you next week. Billy does have a quick question for you.
She's thankful for me.
Okay, there you go.
See, you don't even need to ask.
I don't even need to ask. All right, now tell us the truth. What are you thankful for?
You know what? I am thankful for people that just bring smiles to my face, including the both of you, just bringing joy and happiness and positivity. That means a lot.
Perfect.
She smiles every time we air off.
Yeah.
Good, they're done.
Yes. All right. Well,
Billy,
hey.
you weren't supposed to say that.
Oh, sorry. You still got that 15-second box thing for me?
Billy's gotten real elegant on us. He's drinking that Topo Chico now. Topo Chico. He's got his pinky in the air when he drinks his water now, Kathy.
He's getting bougie, huh?
Yeah, bougie. There you go. Yeah.
I'm through with both of y'all.
All right. Well, hey, God bless you, Kathy. We love you and your family very much, and have a wonderful weekend. All right.
Love y'all too. Have a great day.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. That was funny you mentioned her, then the randomizer picked her. So there you go. It was a good morning. Randomizer actually picked 2 people that already won this week, and then the third one was her. So, well, Billy, that'll wrap it up. I know you got places to go and things to do. Any final comments before we go, man?
Stay warm, stay dry.
And my bold prediction came out to be true. No wintry weather whatsoever. Dallas got smacked. We didn't. Prayers go out to everybody infected in California as well, man. That's been bad. You should have
heard Greg yesterday when people were canceling stuff or whatever. And he's from Wheeler, and they get snow and stuff up there. And
yeah.
His dad was a superintendent of the school, so he was telling stories about his father going out early in the morning and driving the roads and the routes that the buses would take, and he was the one that would get to make the official school to no school. And then he tells you about all that. He tells you when they moved down here and they enrolled Will, which is his son, in school. And Greg took Will to school one morning and got there, and there was nobody at the parking lot. So Greg calls his wife, and she's like, "Oh yeah, they canceled school." He's like, "For what?"
Yeah, I drove to work in a blizzard in Fargo. We still had to go to work, and it was about 15 below and snow blowing, and cars were on the side of the road, and I was going to work.
Well, he says up there in Wheeler, it's not like the depth of the snow. That's not, you can handle that. He says it's the snow drifts or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
well, we appreciate you. Again, prayers go out to all those affected in California. I had some friends in that area, and one of them everyone's okay that I know, thankfully, but they some folks have lost everything, as far as their property goes, but they said they're just happy to be alive. The video coming out, and some of the friends on Facebook that I have that shared video that they personally took was just apocalyptic.
We
man,
really need to pray for those people because they're going through it's bad enough they live in California, but then they're having to deal with this on top of it.
Yeah, and Newsom, their governor, was there, and a lady was pleading with him, like, what are you going to do? And he didn't know how to talk. It was just...
What is he going to do?
Yeah.
Get a bucket and some water? What do you want the guy to do? I hate that. God, we couldn't extend this show. I hate that when people run up to somebody, well, what are you going to do about it?
Well, no, she was crying. She had lost, all of her property got destroyed. And so she said, we have got to do something about this. And she had a valid argument because and they've released paperwork on it now that's official that they cut $17 million of funding with the fire department. That'll be the after-hour show to tell you what all that is. But
they need to
ridiculous.
Take a hint from the Texas Forest Service and start, brush cutting and prescribed burning, and you got to people even in your daily life, you got to get out ahead of the problem.
That's right, and that's what Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home does.
Get out ahead of the problem.
We'll get out ahead of the problem. We've been getting out ahead of it since 2002. So,
I'm probably going to be fired.
No, I did not. Give them a call if you need anything. They'll take care of your pre-planning. By the way, one final thing. I will see Billy after the fact next Thursday. Next Thursday, you are invited here to First Baptist Church for a dinner. Now, we've kind of reserved it for the members, but if you're a friend of Hello Huntsville and you hear my voice right now, you also are more than welcome to come to this event. Completely free. You just need to register today. And I'll put the link, but you can get a free meal. Billy, you won't be here, but Greg will from Sam Houston Memorial Funeral. Are you going to be here?
Well, is that the 14th?
It's the 16th. It's the Leaving a Legacy dinner. Are you coming to that?
I might be here.
I hope you do. We would love for all of you to come. Nobody's selling anything, but we're going to talk. We have experts from 3 different areas. Angela Volish will be here. Mm-hmm. She'll be talking about the importance of will. Pre-planning will be Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, and we'll have some friends from Global Financial Partners here. Paula Armstrong is the one who organized this, but they'll be talking about different ways that you can utilize your funds to help out organizations such as churches, and those kind of things. They're not going to be selling anything, but if you would like to come to that event, if you're hearing my voice, you are cordially invited. Cordially invited. Is that the right way to say it?
Mm-hmm.
It will be on Thursday next week, 6 p.m. here at First Baptist Church. Meal is provided, no charge, but you do need to register, and you need to register now. I've put the link on the website or on the social media. Just click on that link, register now. If you can't go to that website, maybe you're listening on Spirit Radio FM, go to fbchuntsville.org and click on events. So that'll wrap it up. And Kyle said you should record or go live for it. We're just we want people to come out and eat. We got food that we need people to eat. So
and he's right. We don't sell anything at this event. In the amount of information that you get, it's amazing. It's good stuff because I know every time I hear the presentation, I pick up on something else, and it's like, dang, I didn't think about that. We need to look into that for my family.
Yep. So come on out, be a part of that. You're all invited, by the way. So please come. I would love to see you as well, and we would love for you to come.
Maybe we can get a dunking booth or something.
Yeah, we'll get Billy in it.
I was thinking Greg, but whatever.
That'll wrap it up. We'll be back at it. Hey, friends, have a wonderful and blessed weekend. We appreciate you for engaging with us. It's been a great week here on Good Morning Huntsville. We'll be back at it next week, bright and early Monday, with our friends from Walker County Federal Credit Union. So please join us on Monday, 7:30. As I end every show reminding you this morning, we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. Somebody out there needs you. Billy, thank you, man. I appreciate you being here, brother.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you guys later. Good morning, and God bless. See you, Billy.
See you.